Are you kidding me with that game yesterday? The Ravens demolished the Green Bay Packers in storied Lambeau Field. The story there was a story. Last night that the Ravens kicked ass. And why? Because of this man behind me, Mr. Derek King Henry, who ran out of his mind and laid down a killing of punishments of the Green Bay Packers, who had no answer on defense to them. Although the Ravens had no answer to defend the Packers, but that's another story because the Ravens, as of whatever time it is, 10 o'clock this morning, what is it, 11 o'clock? As of 11:21, the Ravens are still in the playoff hunt. Very outside chance, but they're still in it because they went to Green Bay last night in the cold Lambeau Field, and they answered the call, man. They crushed the Packers. I'm telling you, they crushed them. You don't need me to tell you that. Let's go over the game. It was Packers Ravens. And let me tell you, it was a demolition. Unbelievable. Let's go through it and see what happened. What do we got? The final score was 41 for the visiting Baltimore Ravens, which now makes them 8-8. And the Packers of Green Bay are 9-6-1. And they are still in it. They're in the playoffs. They play the Vikings next week, and they'll probably end up playing the Bears in the opening rounds of the playoffs. Now, for the Ravens have to hope that Cleveland can beat Pittsburgh today. Then they're still in it into the last game where they play the Steelers for the divisional crown. Now, it's not the greatest season ever, but it was one of the great days yesterday. And I'll tell you why. Because the Ravens came out immediately doing everything right. What's happening? Don't sweat the small stuff. Sweat the petty stuff. Don't sweat the petty stuff. Pet the sweaty stuff. Or something like that. Okay, anyway, the Ravens did everything right that they did wrong last week. They ran uh, Derrick Henry, number 22, the running back. They ran him every chance they got. And Tyler Huntley, going in for Lamar, who was sidelined with injury, played a magnificent game. Pretty flawless with a few mistakes. The Ravens defense was not good at all. They could not stop the backup quarterback for the Packers, looking like the greatest quarterback in NFL history with his runs and passes. So let's go over the individual stats of the game. The Ravens scored first. The Packers answered. The Ravens scored was 14-7, then it was 17-7 with the Ravens ahead, and it was 20-7 with the Ravens furthering their lead. Tyler Loop kicked well, and he also kicked off well. Then it became 20-14, and then 27-14 with the Ravens still ahead. And then it became 27-17. The defense held for a field goal there in the third quarter. So then it became 20. How close did it? It became 34. It was 34-24 at one time in the fourth, and the Ravens got a turnover and put the game away, running the ball. The Ravens dominated with an unbelievable time of possession. The Packers, they this is the third game this year that they have not punted in a game, but that they have lost. That's kind of strange. Okay, let's look over the stats of the game. All right. The Ravens had 414 total yards. Incredible. Only 107 yards passing. But let's get back to that. 307 yards rushing total with a 5.6 yards per play. 30 first downs, 10 out of 14 third down efficiency, 74 total plays, 1 sack allowed, only 1 punt, 6 penalties, no fumbles lost, no interceptions thrown, a time of possession of 40 minutes and 16 seconds, 2 out of 2 field goals, and 4 out of 6 in the red zone. And that's all incredible improvements for what has happened this year. 41 points. Now the Packers, 363 total yards, 284 passing yards, 79 yards rushing, 8.3 yards per play, 18 first downs, 3 out of 6 on third down, 0 out of 2 on fourth down, 44 total plays compared to 74. They allowed 2 sacks, did not punt, lost a fumble, threw an interception. Time of possession was 19 minutes and 44 seconds as compared to 40 minutes and 16 seconds. The field goals made were 1 for 1, and their red zone attempts to making it was 1 out of 2. Now, that's great. But let's go to the individual player stats. For the Packers, let's do them first because let's get this out of the way. Malik Willis, who, of course, okay, late in the season, a backup quarterback comes in. He's quite good. Now all the talk, I was listening to Packers podcast, and after a game reaction, now everybody wants Willis to take over Jordan Love. Okay, that's how fans are. That's how fans react. Overreact. But I'm sure that the Willis fella, guy, quarterback, he might be pretty good enough to start for another NFL team. Just probably not the Packers. Clayton Tune came in and was 1 out of 4 for them. Besides being 18 out of 20 for 288 yards and 134.6 rating, Malik Wilson also ran for 60 yards, and I believe with 2 touchdowns rushing. And I believe it was the first time going way back to like 1990 that a quarterback had run over 50 yards and thrown for over 280 yards in a game for the Packers. All right, let's see. Christian Watson had 113 yards receiving for the Packers. And those are their big stars. In fairness, Malik Willis, what you talking about? Willis was incredibly accurate with his throws. On the other hand, the Ravens played horribly on defense. No excuses there. They couldn't stop anything. Okay, call in if you like, 410-921-9076. Comment if you want. We show all comments. We answer all calls. All right, now, look. See, this is how much personal we give out here in this podcast. The other podcasts don't have the courage to have things like that hanging around their studio, but we do. Okay, that's all right. That's a story for another day. All right. Triumphant win, victory, total, complete. The greatest game all year. The Ravens, they just let it, they unleashed power called Derrick Henry. Now, Derrick Henry is like the Hulk. The more he goes, the madder he gets, the better he runs. And he is a relentless. He is like Earl Campbell or something. If you don't even remember Earl Campbell, I don't know what you Utes would have in comparison, but just relentless. I mean, he just drives, and he is one of the greats of all time. I think he broke the NFL record for 200-yard games. I think it was 7 or something, 7 or 8. This is the NFL record. We're talking Jim Brown, Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, all the greats. Saquon Barkley. But you see, the Ravens did something they never do. They began to run the ball. Running was working. They were blowing. The offensive line deserves a lot of credit. They've been maligned all year. They've deserved a lot of criticism, but they tore through Green Bay off the ball, and Green Bay was loading the box. Green Bay loaded the box down the middle. The Ravens ran outside, and it was a sight to see. If you like running, if you like brilliant running, I hope you got to see that game yesterday, because Derrick Henry put on a show, an amazing performance. And this guy is 32 years old. He's been in the league a long time. He's taken a lot of punishment. He's done a lot of carries. But the Ravens did something uncharacteristic. They realized, instead of coming to the conclusion that, wait, we're running incredibly successfully, let's stop running because it's working so well, and let's just start throwing the ball all over the field, so we have the possibility of messing up the game and making mistakes. Didn't do it last night. Smart football. Give Todd Monkton the credit for calling a great game. Very impressed with his play calling. Our buddy John Harbaugh brought the team on the road when they had every reason to just pack it in. But what did they do? What they did to the Packers on offense was almost criminal. Of course, Green Bay deserves credit to Malik Willis, quarterback for the Packers. Probably got himself a starting job somewhere, and he deserves it. The quality of play, we talk a lot on this podcast, the quality of play in the NFL, starting quarterback or any quarterback is so low that the way this guy was throwing the ball and running, there's no reason that he wouldn't be a starter somewhere. Any team would be smart to get him, because you could probably get him pretty good once Jordan Love comes back to the Packers. So Todd Monkton, King Henry, Derrick Henry were the stars. And also Tyler Huntley availed himself quite well. John Harbaugh. I know that this is an overused term, but he outcoached the floor of the Packers. And the Ravens came away with a victory. Might not mean anything in a few hours, but then again, it might. If the Browns can and beat the Steelers. I hear animals in the studio. No studio has more animals than this studio. Yeah. None. We are the greatest animal stock of animals in a studio of any podcast in the country. All right. Since everything I'm saying could just be kind of not as exhilarating of a feeling for a Ravens fan. Our first great day of the year, I think, by far the best day of the season. It could have a little bit of disappointment if the Ravens get thrown out of the playoffs today with a Steelers win. But let's enjoy it for now. Let's be in awe of Derrick Henry and his incredible performance. Let's see, what was his final run? Did I go? Let's go one more time with his final personal stats of rushing. Tyler Huntley, 16 out of 20, 107 yards, 105 rating. Derrick Henry. Now get this. This man is 32 years old, and this is the 16th game of the season this year. 36 carries, 216 yards, 6-yard average, a 30-yard long, and 4 touchdowns rushing. Unbelievable. Incredible. Amazing. Astounding, really. All right. I'm going to close for now. We'll catch up more when we get more on what the Pittsburgh Steelers in the division, what they do. But let's go quick. I'll do a quick, before the games start, let's go do a quick look at where we stand as far as playoff standings, the playoff picture. Let's go real quick. Okay, after yesterday, so there was a bunch of games. There were 3 games yesterday, but okay, the Broncos, they're the first seed. They're 13-3. They play Kansas City. Did they play Kansas City? They're 13-3. I guess they play Kansas City. Patriots play the Jets. Okay, they're 12-3. Oh wait, the Broncos beat Kansas City, I guess. I don't understand this. Okay, so the Patriots are 12-3. They play the Jets today. The Jaguars play the Colts. They're 11-4. The Bills, they play Philadelphia. They're 11-4. They're the 5th place seed right now. Texas plays the Texas beat the Chargers. They're 11-5. They're the 6th place. 7th place team in the AFC are the Chargers right now. In the hunt are the Steelers. On the bubble are the Ravens. So let's see how that unfolds today. The Steelers are playing the Browns. Okay, the NFC. 1 playoff spot left. The Seahawks are the top seed. The Bears 2nd. Eagles 3rd. 49ers are the 5th seeded. They're in. The Rams are in at 6th seed. Packers are in at the 7th seed. In the hunt are the Panthers, who played the Seahawks today, and the Buccaneers play the Dolphins today. They are 7-8 and 2nd in the NFC South. They play Miami. Okay, everybody, that's the way it is, and we will see you later when we clear up, when all this mess is a lot more clear today. All right, everybody, have MAGA. Enjoy football today. Only 2 regular season games left. Only 2 playoff spots, I think, to worry about. And we will see you later, maybe later tonight.
Big Rooster.